Back in 1972, Marvel released a issue called Marvel Spotlight Number 5, which featured the first appearance of the character known as Ghost Rider, aka Johnny Blaze. And that character would go on for a good while, like lasting about like 80 or so issues. And then Ghost Rider kind of went away for a bit. And he didn't come back. Like, he was gone in the mid 80s, and then we didn't see him again for a long time until his comeback in the roaring 90s, featuring a new Ghost Rider named Danny Ketch. And we're going to learn about him, as well as Johnny, and all some kind of crazy lore with Ghost Rider. And Danny Ketch, Ghost Rider Omnibus Volume 1. We're going to review it here today on the Yummy Buds Cafe. Let's take a look. Alright, so this is Danny Ketch Ghost Rider Volume 1. Got this beautiful cover here, done by Tex. Here's the spine. Got the classic Marvel Omni logo. Ghost Rider on the spine. A fan favorite era of vengeance. Yeah, you'll hear that word a lot in this book. Vengeance. So yeah, let's open up this bad boy and go through this book. Alright, so we got this this nice interior artwork here, all in blue. Volume 2's got a similar look, just with a different image. And we also got a lot of talent on this book. Howard Mackey being one of the writers, as well as Todd McFarlane, Mike Barron, Chris Cooper, play a great artist as well, including Javier Saltez, Mark Textery, Todd McFarlane, of course, Mark Badley. Yeah, because the thing that's kind of cool about this book too is that there's a lot of like crossover with like Marvel. Like there's a lot of like outside of like collecting a lot of the Ghost Rider stuff, there is a lot of different team ups, like different Marvel team up books with Ghost Rider and like other characters, as well as like other characters issues. Like there's some issues of Spider-Man in here. There's a couple of Doctor Strange issues in here. But anyway, yeah. So this is the first issue here. Spirit Reborn, Life's Blood. So we start the story out with Danny Ketch and Sister Barb going to a graveyard on All Hallows Eve. Fun tradition for them. It's also Barb's birthday, and what she wants to do is she wants to go see the grave of Houdini. While that's all going on, though, unfortunately, they get involved in some kind of gang war going on between the Kingpin's men as well as the men of Deathwatch, a character who's going to become one of the main occurring villains in this book. That's Deathwatch right there. And one of the things that does happen is that throughout all this melee, at one point, there's a murder that happens. Barb screams. The gang finds out. They try to take him down, of course, because they want no witnesses. And Barb is, of course, bleeding from the gunshot wound. Danny goes to take her to try and get some help. And while that's going on, he finds a motorcycle just laying out in the graveyard. And specifically, though, this motorcycle has a medallion. A medallion that at that particular moment is glowing. And the reason why it is glowing is because the blood of the innocent has been spilled. Danny touches this medallion, or the gas cap, medallion works too, and turns into Ghost Rider, the spirit of vengeance. And Ghost Rider ends up kicking some ninja ass. And it's pretty cool. It's really cool. So from this, Ghost Rider and Danny are now bonded. So basically, they're now in the middle of this gang war. Get some cool visuals of Ghost Rider here. Unfortunately, though, I mean, despite getting the powers of the Ghost Rider, he wasn't fully able to save Barb, and Barb is now in a coma. But yeah, like I said, it tends to go around a lot between the Marvel Universe. So you see here next month, the Punisher. So the next issue, he ends up team up with the Punisher. Oh, this is Danny's girlfriend, who I must say right now is probably one of the most forgiving women I've ever read in a book in my life, because he constantly bails on this girl constantly to go do like Ghost Rider stuff, and she's still just like, oh yeah, it's fine, Dan, like no problem. Like, jeez, so forgiving. Stacy is her name. Stacy is very forgiving, and actually later on she actually ends up becoming like a cop, which ties into some other things going on, because of course the cops are not really big fans of Ghost Rider, because one of the other things that happens in this book is there is a whole massacre of like murders, as well as like a bunch of children get like kidnapped, and Ghost Rider's trying to save them, and a lot of people in the media think that Ghost Rider is involved, including not being helped by the fact that one of the Death Watch's people in this group actually is like a reporter for like one of the news outlets, and she basically works for Death Watch, so she constantly makes Ghost Rider like look bad in like the media and all that. So while all this is going on, Danny is trying to figure out what the deal is with the Ghost Rider and how much of this power he can use, and is it really him, or is Ghost Rider fully taking over? With this character, the Scarecrow, not to be confused with the Batman villain. He shows up here and there. Excuse me. As well as this other character who appears, who works for Death Watch. His name is Blackout, and he becomes a big part of this book, including doing one horrific thing to a member of Daniel's family. I'll just leave it at that. This is the team up issue with Spider-Man, one of many. And we get to see Todd McFarlane Ghost Rider, which is awesome. And also, I love this too, because it kind of goes into some like deep stuff here, where Ghost Rider is literally interrogating like a priest who did things to certain young people. Let's leave it at that. But yeah, I gotta say, I do love the tone of this. And then we get this as well, Marvel Comics Presents issues, which actually I like the way that the Omnibus breaks this down too, where they just go through like all the issues and just like include like the Ghost Rider story. They include the whole issue. So you get this first one team up with Wolverine. In the shadow of Death Watch. But yeah, I really do like Danny as a character, as well as the Ghost Rider. I mean, Danny's just Danny's Danny. You know, like there's really not much to him. He's just a normal, typical kid that ends up getting the Ghost Rider powers. It's really all about Ghost Rider for me. Like if I had to pick between the two main Ghost Riders, I'm more of a Johnny guy. But like Danny's cool too, because Danny gave us this iconic look for Ghost Rider. Johnny was the first, but Danny was the one that gave us the iconic look, the iconic bike. Now, admittedly, sometimes they maybe throw maybe a little too much in this on me, because like I'm looking at this issue right here. I remember reading this the Moon Knight issue, and it really just felt like an issue of Moon Knight, and Ghost Rider's maybe in it for like two panels. Like to me, it's just like, yeah, this was not needed, you know. And we also get the debut of this other villain, the Zodiac. who's applying some killings and some murders. He's the one that's involved with the children kidnapping, the one that Ghost Rider's being framed for. So it's actually, I guess the real big premise of the story, which I think is really cool, is that it's just Ghost Rider dealing with a lot all at once. Like, he's dealing with Death Watch, he's dealing with Blackout, he's dealing with Zodiac, all these, like, characters. And it gets cool, because near the end of the Omni, there's, like, the last couple issues is literally just Ghost Rider, like, going through the list and just being like, alright, I'm taking him out, I'm taking him out, I'm taking him out. That's Zodiac. Yeah, he's quite the character. And also, this issue is interesting because Ghost Rider gets kidnapped by the character known as Nightmare, who's a big Ghost Rider villain. It goes into more of the backstory, the lore, what's been going on. Because one of the things that is interesting about this version of Ghost Rider, well, two things that I really caught my eye is that for such a anti-hero or more of a dark kind of character, Ghost Rider's not really an anti-hero in this. He's more of a pure hero, like. He's not going to kill unless he absolutely has to. Like, he doesn't look for, like, just, like, killing people off for no reason. Like, he's not like the Punisher or, like, even Wolverine. Like, he will always, like, try to, like, not murder if he doesn't have to, you know? Like, he'll avenge he'll avenge the blood of the innocent, but, like, he won't take the blood of, like, the victims if he doesn't have to. Which was really surprising and really cool. Made me like Ghost Rider that much more. Like, he was more of a noble hero. And the reason we find that out, though, is because one of the, I guess you could call it ongoing gags in this book, is everyone believes that this is Cerebos, the original spirit who took over Johnny Blaze, the original Ghost Rider. But we're going to find out way later on, not in this volume, but later on in the Danny Ketch run, that this is not Cerebos. This is actually another spirit named Noble Kale. And there's a whole bunch of lore and backstory that goes more into him. But yeah, throughout the run, it is hilarious where you see people constantly calling him Cerebos, and he's just like, I'm not Cerebos! These are the Doctor Strange issues. But yeah, I would definitely highly recommend this book, especially if you're into, like, the more, like, supernatural or, like, dark stuff, you know. Like, this is, like, really cool for stuff like this. Plus, Ghost Rider is such a cool visual character, you know. But I think there's more to him than that, too. I know a lot of people kind of, like, write him off as just that. Like, you say, oh, he's just a cool visual. But I'm like, I feel like there's so much more to him. And honestly, I've really taken to this character to the point where, for years, I've always said Spider-Man's my favorite Marvel character. But I feel like that's everyone's favorite Marvel character. I feel like Ghost Rider might be there for me now. As someone who doesn't read that much Marvel, I'm more of a DC guy. But, like, I think Ghost Rider may be the top of the list for me now. Oh, and we deal with another villain, Snowblind. Who, yes, is blind. And deals with a certain white drug. But then also one of the big things that does happen in here, again, I don't want to give too much away, is eventually Johnny Blaze does return. Johnny Blaze, the original Ghost Rider, does show up here. And this eventually leads to them having their own team-up book. I mean, at first they don't like each other at all because Johnny thinks it's Seraphos, of course, like everyone else does, and wants to basically kill Ghost Rider. And he does have the eventual means to do that. Because at one point, when they're in a confrontation with each other, Danny accidentally makes Johnny's shotgun into a shotgun that could shoot hellfire, which, yes, could kill Ghost Rider, as well as other supernatural beings. So it gives Johnny more of an advantage about being, like, the spirit of vengeance. Like, he's got the, he gets his own hell bike, and, yeah, he gets his own shotgun that could shoot hellfire. I love this cover, by the way, issue 15. Yeah, this issue is just, this is where things really get down. You have these, like, women agents that are after him as well. Like I said, a lot of people are after Ghost Rider in this. Death Watch, like, That's probably one of my favorite images. Or Blackout. That's Blackout. Well, that's not Blackout. That's Ghost Rider. But before you know what I mean. There are a lot of characters. They're all with like similar kind of names. Your punishment is long overdue, Blackout. I love that image of Ghost Rider. And of course, as he's trying to take down Blackout, here's Johnny coming in, shooting him with the shotgun, and Danny, Ghost Rider, just being like, "I'm not Seraphos!" But eventually, he does get revenge on Blackout by giving him the penance stare. The penance stare is, of course, Ghost Rider's ultimate weapon, where he just stares at you and makes you relive all the pain and all the drama of all the souls that you killed. It basically like burns your soul. It doesn't like kill you unless like he goes extreme, but it just puts you in like a bad state. And basically, it's his way of like nullifying like a lot of thugs and stuff like that. Yes, it also works on Blackout, and it screws up his face. And Blackout is very particular about his face. He's very pretentious like that, and it ends up making Ghost Rider Blackout go insane. And we get this issue where he teams up with Spider-Man, then where he ends up taking down Hobgoblin because Hobgoblin's possessed by a demon. And admittedly, I feel like Spider-Man's kind of a dick in these issues. I don't know why. Like, he just seems like he's very, like, he just does not want to deal with, like, Ghost Rider at all. Yeah, just going for more of this. Yeah, the Ghost Rider team up. But overall, yeah, I mean, I really, really did like this omnibus. I mean, there was Volume 2 as well. Volume 2, admittedly, I don't like as much. I will review it, but I don't like it as much as Volume 1. I'll talk about that why when I do Volume 2. But yeah, we get some more team-ups here, because that's where this book eventually does end up. It does end up with a lot more team-ups and all that. This is actually really cool. We get this little graphic novel here where Ghost Rider teams up with Wolverine and the Punisher. It's called The Heart of Darkness, where the three of them end up taking out Blackheart. Marvel Holiday Special. They all chase Santa for some reason. Why would the Marvel characters do that? Like, DC characters wouldn't do that. They wouldn't chase Santa. It is a nice story, though, where like he ends up like saving this one kid, specifically a blind kid. It was really cool. And we get the introduction of this other character who shows up as well, who, yeah, he blames Ghost Rider for what happens to him. Mephisto does something to him. I'm not going to say the character's villain name because it might get me in trouble on YouTube. But, yeah, like, his actual name is Chris. We'll just call him Chris. But, yeah, he ends up getting involved with some of the stuff with Zodiac. Because, like I said, near the end here is basically just Ghost Rider taking out all the villains. He's taking out Blackout, Death Watch, Zodiac. It's just him going on this, like, Death Watch, going on this, like rampage. And there's the big final battle with Death Watch. He's pretty much like the big bad of all of them. Like he's like the big bad because he's the one that started all this back in like the graveyard where he ends up shooting Barb and eventually leads. I'll just say it. It does lead to her death. Blackout ends up killing Barb in the hospital when she has the coma, and that's what makes Danny want to kill Blackout. Which he doesn't kill him, but he does mess up his face. which I guess is enough of a punishment, especially for him. Yeah, then after that, yeah, it just adds to a bunch of Marvel Presents comics. And yeah, and that is Volume 1 of Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. So overall, I really enjoyed this volume, and this volume in particular is what really kind of made me more into a Ghost Rider fan. I've read some Ghost Rider before this, like mainly the Daniel Way run, which really was my gateway. But this run really made me fall in love with the character and the lore, and I really like the story. And it's also just some fun 90-rific stuff. You just turn your brain off and just enjoy. You know, not everything's gotta be so deep with comics. Sometimes you just want to see some cool visuals and stuff like that, and this book has plenty of it with the beautiful art by Textria. Sorry, forgot his name at the moment. But yeah, great art, some good writing for the most part. But yeah, definitely, I would say check this book out. And also, like, they are continuing the series. Volume 2 is out. I have Volume 2 as well. I'll talk about Volume 2 if you guys want me to, which goes more into the lore of the Midnight Suns and all that. As well as Volume 3 will be coming out in October. But alright, yep, that's my review, guys. And I'll talk to you later. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Omnibus Cafe. Toodles.
If you're looking for great deals on collected edition comics or manga, we recommend shopping at panelboundcomics.com. They offer free shipping on orders over $30, plus bundled discounts to help you save even more. And if you're shopping from Europe or the UK, comicsbugle.com offers free EU shipping and a rewards program for regular buyers. Don't forget to use our discount codes at checkout.